Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we are doing the weekly reading for the sign of Aquarius. Alright, my lovely Aquariuses, this is going to be the reading for October 6th to October 12th. And we're going to get right into pulling out your romance angel messages. Starting off with wedding. Some of you may indeed be getting married. You may be attending a wedding, a special event. This could be the one. It says you've already met the romantic partner you seek. And healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So these are quite interesting romance angel messages. They're quite complementary, actually, with wedding and healing family issues, certainly. But let's go ahead and get your animal spirits out, Aquarius. Now, your animal spirits may or may not resonate with you. Usually, animal spirits are indicative of stages in our lives that we may be entering or that may be ending, energies that are at play, or personalities that we are coming across in our day-to-day activities. So let's just see what this week holds for you, Aquarius, in terms of your animal spirits. And of course, the video is time-stamped, so you can go in the description and jump ahead if you'd like. We have the dolphin. So I'm going to put that right over here. Actually, usually I just lay them out left to right as we do the romance angel messages, but the dolphin is the highest card for healing, right? So healing family issues indeed. This could be the one, moth energy. And we have the vulture. Interesting. So before we go ahead and pull out your forecast for the week, let's go and just review your animal spirits. Now, let's start with the vulture. The vulture is an air animal element, all right? And with the vulture, we're talking about this creature is indeed very maligned, very misunderstood. You know, people are kind of disgusted by the idea of the vulture, right? But of course, the vulture's energy is necessary to the balance of life, right? It's necessary for the balance of our ecosystem. And so in the same way, to have balance spiritually and mentally, since this is an air element, this will be associated with the mental plane. Vulture energy is necessary. Now, what do? They clear out remnants of the old, scraps, you know, the leftovers of dead things, right? They eat carrion. And so in this way, whenever you go through a change, a death, a clearing out of the old, it's also necessary to get rid of the lasting little rotten bits, right? And then an example would be if you've picked up, for instance, say you've been in a toxic relationship or a difficult relationship and you've ended that relationship. However, you have still held on to some of the negative thinking. You may have held on to negative habits, right, from that relationship. Well, vulture energy comes in to clear all of that out as well. Not only are you done with that negative part of your life, but you want to clear out all of the remnants of it. So it's very, very necessary and a very, very powerful tool for moving forward. Now the moth. What do we know about the moth? Also air energy. The moth to the flame, right? Moth energy is, moths are so easily distracted, so easily, I want to say tantalized perhaps in a way. The moth is energy that we resonate with when we tend to be our own worst enemy. Oftentimes when we tend to draw towards things that are shiny and bright, but that aren't necessarily good for us, right? That can, in the end, hurt us, right? And so with moth energy, it's like you want to think about, you know, we used to call that, you know, having your nose open. You know, somebody opens you up in such a way with really kind of shallow ideas or expressions, having money, having gold, having jewelry, having abundance, sort of shallow abundance, right? glittery things, beautiful things, things that attract that moth energy individual, right? But be careful. Be careful with that, because that will lead into very difficult areas. And we're going to see how this moth actually plays into the reading this week. Then, of course, we have the dolphin. And the dolphin is indeed the highest card in the deck for healing, specifically for healing. It's a water energy animal. Water element, of course, is the upside down triangle, is the alchemical symbol for water. And the dolphin understands us. How does the dolphin heal? Because the dolphin has great empathy, right? It's the empathy of the dolphin. It's the sensitivity. It's the ability to feel what we feel that helps the dolphin to heal us. Because not only does the dolphin have a sort of empathy for us and a sort of a sympathetic response to us, but then, of course, the dolphin knows immediately what is needed in a particular situation for healing to occur. This is really, really beautiful energy. And of course, this will be somebody, for instance, if you're dealing with healing family issues, this would be someone who comes in and is able to speak to everyone on both sides of the issue, who's able to understand everybody's side and really give what each person needs to be able to heal from the situation. It's very, very nice energy. So we have 2 air and a water. And again, you may or may not resonate with these, and that's fine. So we're going to go ahead and pull out your forecast for the week. I'm going to pull out about 5 to 8 3-card forecasts for the week to see what you may or may not be encountering, what kind of situations you may be dealing with. All right, my lovely Aquarius. Of course, again, you can go in a timestamp in the description. You can jump ahead or jump back to the different forecasts. And again, if you are dealing with a particular situation that you want deeper insight to, please just go ahead to my my description for the link to book a private reading. Private readings, I do a variety of different readings, and it's very easy to book a reading with me. All right, guys, let's get right into it. We have Lovers, 10 of Cups, and a Wheel of Fortune. So, wedding, marriage. Some of you may be getting married. Some of you may have been proposed to most recently. This is really a beautiful combination. You've met your lover. You've met your soulmate, and you've tied the knot. 10 of Cups can certainly indicate a wedding, a marriage, but even if it isn't a wedding in a traditional sense, it's a commitment. It's a long-lasting commitment, and it's the type of commitment that really, really makes you happy. This is really the one, right? This could be the one. This is the one. Of course, Lovers is the card for Gemini. Some of you may be dealing with Gemini, okay? But that's just an aside. I really hate to say those things because usually, you know, trying to decipher what sun sign you're dealing with is really ridiculous because we have a whole natal chart, and so you may not at all be dealing with a Gemini, but certainly you could be dealing with someone who's resonating with a bit of Gemini energy in their chart. Just as an aside as well, if you want to know more about your astrological aspects and get deeper into that, I am not an astrologer, I'm a tarot reader. However, Fernando Pradholm, I have his channel highlighted on my homepage, and he's really the best person I've seen to date on astrology and understanding the astrological aspects, and I would very much encourage you to go to his channel. Now, 10 of Cups, of course, is that commitment. 10 is the number for closure, so it's completion, but it's also the jumping off point for the next stage. And so this, again, is this commitment of living your life together, and in comes the Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful opportunities come in for the two of you as a couple. Right? Oftentimes when we meet our soulmate and we come together in a very positive way, the world does offer us a lot of really beautiful opportunities. 9 of Wands, Hermit, and 4 of Wands. Do excuse the background noise. Living in the city. 9 of Wands talks about, for some of you, you're looking back on a very difficult stage, right, in your life. stage that you're currently in, but that is probably going to be changing soon or coming to an end. But right now, you're taking a moment to look back over everything that you've had to deal with, everything you've had to go through, some of the burdens that you've had to shoulder, and perhaps some of the hang-ups or baggage that you've collected along the way. This reevaluation, of course, part of this reevaluation could be that you also realize that you are without your partner or without your significant other. 9 is the number for the Hermit, right? So the 9 cards and all the suits, generally, all of the 9s will have inherent in their essence a feeling of aloneness, solitude, walking the path alone, going through a particular experience on your own. Whatever the case may be, it is definitely Hermit energy. So you're looking back on what you've been through and everything that you've kind of dealt with on your own, right? All of the times that you've had to shoulder something without the help of anyone else. And perhaps a lot of this, oftentimes when we go through a 9 of Wands, it shows us exactly how strong we truly are. Oftentimes it can, surviving and reevaluate, looking back, right, over what you've survived can oftentimes propel you into a spiritual path as well. Because you realize, wow, I've gone through so much, and I've survived it. This oftentimes opens us up to a spiritual understanding. Where is this fight come from? Does it come from my spirit? And so for some of you, Aquarius, you are really entering into a phase like this where I'm going to say that as this period comes to a close, you're going to be much more working on your own development, in your own spiritual path. An example could be that if you've been taking care of a sick loved one for a long time and that responsibility is now coming to an end and you desire now to just really walk a path of self-realization and working on yourself, working on your own spiritual development, right? As a result of everything that you've learned and gone through. And sort of this decision that you make opens up the way for love to come in. It opens up the way for healing, for your healing, and so that you are healthy enough for a stable love connection. 4 of Wands is often called the soulmate card or 1111, but 1111 is simply meant, the only reason they call that is simply because there's 2 wands mirroring each other and they look like 2 11s. It has nothing to do with the number 11. The number 4 is what's important, and that is the number for stability. And so when we talk about the 4 of Wands, we talk about a very stable connection of fire and passion between 2 people. Our life essences, each of our life essences are compatible and mutually respective of each other, and this is what makes it a long-term sort of connection. And this stability in a relationship comes in for you guys on the heels of this work. All of this is kind of what you really ruminate and think about this week for some of you. There's your Death card. And there's your 10 of Wands, which is what exactly I was talking about. So death comes in and changes everything, right? You've just gone from a 9 of Wands where you've looked, and again, these forecasts, some of you may resonate with some of the forecasts, all of the forecasts, or none of the forecasts, but 9 of Wands, of course, some of you are at the 9 of Wands stage. Some of you have just gone past that 9 of Wands stage, and you're now at the stage of transformation and laying down those burdens. You've kind of looked over everything that you've gone through with that 9 of Wands, and now at the 10 of Wands, you understand that it's time to lay it down. It's time to lay down the baggage that you've associated with this period, now that it's coming to a close. And everything in your life is kind of changing as a result. And what happens, just as before we see you moving forward on a spiritual path, for some of you who have kind of experienced that already, and now you're in this stage, you're moving on with your life's ambition. You've done the shadow work, you've done the hermit work, you've gone inside and figured out exactly where your spiritual center lies, what's really important to you. And now, For those of you who've gone through that, you're at this stage now. You're ready. Everything in your life is changing because of this awakening. This difficult period is ending, and you are looking to the future. Two of Wands is Mars and Aries energy. So Two of Wands talks about, really being able to step out in the world and build on a particular inspiration that you have. Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, and Three of Wands. So now we have 2 sevens. Sevens is the number for dreams and aspirations. So with Seven of Pentacles, talking about really evaluating, again, reevaluating what you've been through, reevaluating if the fruits of your labor are what you expected, right? So oftentimes, Seven of Pentacles talks about really working for a particular goal, and here he's manifested it. The garden that he's tilled, the character is tilled daily and worked on daily, has indeed borne fruit. But is it the right fruit? Is it growing the right way? Is it what you had hoped? And for some of you, it may be that it isn't quite exactly where it is, but yet right now part of the reason why you're doing this reevaluation is because of the Seven of Swords energy. And the Seven of Swords energy is making you feel very impatient. Some of you feeling like hasty, like you need to quickly get something done. It could be, I want to say for some of my watchers who are maybe a little bit older, right? I'm going to say I'm in my late 40s, so late 40s and older, or 50s and older. It may be that you almost feel as though, what you've achieved is not what you really want, and time is beginning to run out. Seven of Swords talks about wanting something so badly that you cut corners to achieve it. It can also talk about impatience, right? Really wanting to hurry up and, get this goal, or hurry up. It's almost this feeling of like, if I don't hurry up and accomplish something, or if I don't hurry up and manifest this sort of objective that I have, I'm not going to have the time to do that later. Now, interestingly enough, Three of Wands is on as well, and Three of Wands is the card for patience. So what I'm going to say to you is that for some of you who are feeling a little bit disillusioned with your life right now, feeling like the clock is ticking away, try to calm yourself a little bit. Patience is what is called for right now. When the Three of Wands comes in, it's because patience is what's needed. It's because in order to take the next step on your path in your life to achieve your goals, you have to take a look at the lay of the land and really think about your next step. And so, Seven of Swords is the card for futility. And so when we rush, when we make haste, when we do things out of an anxiety, a feeling of anxiety, then we make mistakes. And so right now, it will be best for you to deal with this feeling that you have here with the Seven of Swords, this feeling of anxiety, of pressure. Deal with that so that you can be patient right now and make a proper sort of survey of your territory, your terrain, your environment, and then you can make an informed decision on how to move forward. Nine of Swords, Temperance energy coming in, and Page of Pentacles. Of course, Temperance is Sagittarian energy coming in. So Aquarius, some of you are indeed... Nine of Swords talks about really having a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of pain and anxiety. You're really putting yourself through a lot of misery because Nine of Swords talks about guilt. Being lonely, feeling as though it's your fault that you're lonely, feeling as though you're lonely with your thoughts even, right? Remember what I said earlier about nines being the number for the hermit? Well, with Nine of Swords, we're feeling almost like isolated, right? Alone with our thoughts, but our thoughts are driving us crazy, right? It's our thoughts that are really making us sort of miserable, right? It's not anyone else or the connection with anyone else. It's simply our own kind of compulsive negative thinking, right? And so just remember with the Nine of Swords that these feelings are not representative of reality. And sometimes we say, oh, well, I get this feeling and, Yeah, I'm tapping into something. Okay, but with Nine of Swords, it really is just anxiety. It's not that you're tapping into some kind of wellspring of knowledge about what's really going to happen in the future or something. You are simply just driving yourself crazy. The reality could, in fact, be much different from the way you're seeing it right now. And so, temperance is called for, trying not to react to a situation. That's what temperance is all about. This could indeed be involved with healing family issues for some of you. Temperance is the second 14, and so the first four is the Emperor card, the divine masculine, and the leader of men. But with the second four, which is 14, we see temperance and the leader of the self. People who are exhibiting temperance are not reactionary. They're calm and measured. And even if they're not calm, it's because whatever reaction they have or whichever way they behave or they deal with a situation, it is through a very kind of intentional act. It's not, somebody who's resonating with temperance energy, it's not like you can say something to them and they're going to fly off the handle and just react to it, right? And so in this way, each situation that you're dealing with, you're really kind of bringing the best of yourself to that situation. Page of Pentacles talks about somebody coming in who's going to be very practical and supportive. Could be a message or a conversation that you have with somebody about a situation that needs a hands-on solution, right? We're talking about Pentacles here, so this is the material plane. So the Page of Pentacles person is the one who can come in and solve like those type of material problems, like logistical problems, or, come up with solutions to fix something, something in the real world, something tangible. Some of you may be needing help at work or help with a particular project or whatever, and this Page of Pentacles comes in like a good friend to help you with this. Now, this situation, this is just a general vibe. This 3-card spread here will be a general vibe for some of you Aquarius. This could relate to work, family, or a love situation, but the worry and the tempering and the help that comes in, this is what's important. This is the dynamic that some of you will indeed be feeling. 5 of Pentacles, Tower moment, and 9 of Pentacles. All right, so this is going to be, I believe, the last spread. And so we have, interestingly enough, 5 of Pentacles talks about a power struggle that has not gone in your favor, right? You've been ousted, you've been alienated, the group or the dynamic has split, and you have come out of it paying the price. You have come out of it. You can see the two characters, they're kind of thrown out into the cold, right? Literally out in the cold, destitute to a certain degree. Now, this is not to say that you're destitute, Aquarius, but it is to say that not only has this power struggle resulted in kind of a painful break, but it's also resulted in a hit to your wallet, a hit to your finances, and something that you're going to have to recover from. And the Tower moment comes in to kind of just shake you up and say, look, maybe you didn't think this could ever happen with this person or with this group of people or this dynamic, but it's happened. And now you realize, that these things can happen. And it's a Tower moment for you. For some of you, this power struggle could have been with a really, really good friend that you're living with, or with a lover even, right? And it could have gone down in such a way that you never thought that this would happen. You never thought that you guys would split in this way, right? That they would be, or that you would end up actually having to pay money because it came down to sort of like material possessions. And so all of this is kind of really shaken up the tower of truth that you've held on to. It's no longer applicable. I'm going to say for some of you coming out of this, what you realize is that the most important thing is for you to take care of yourself and not to rely on anyone else or to put yourself into any other situations like this that could hurt you. You come out of this much wiser, and you come out of this understanding that this energy of 9 of Pentacles, this individual here is the one who really they don't depend on anyone else for their material support. This is not to say that you can't work with anybody else, but they don't trust anyone else with their financial support or safety, right? So, whereas maybe you did hear to a certain degree, and that's what kind of caused the situation, here you learn that it's about making sure that you're safe, that your finances are stable, that nobody else can control them or control your environment and put you in this type of situation again. And so for some of you, Aquarius, this is happening for you this week. All right, guys, this is your reading for October 6th to the 12th. This is your weekly spread. All right, guys. So if it resonated with you, please like and subscribe and share. Go to the top of the screen if you want to book a private reading. But for right now, Aquarius, I'm going to say have a wonderful week of healing and love, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.